Time to wrap it up. Time to wrap it up. Time to wrap it up with T.I.J.
Oh my God, girl.
Oh, everybody, we have a very special guest.
Yes.
Man,
yes.
One of our best friends.
Like, long time best friend.
Almost 25, maybe 30 years.
Holy shit.
It's been that long.
His name is Isaiah O'Neal, a.k.a.
Big Earn.
a.k.a. Ike.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any other nicknames?
Isaiah.
Ike, Big Earn.
That's it.
Where the fuck did Big Earn come from, man?
The movie
women?
No, man, the movie Kingpin. We used to laugh at that. You remember Kingpin, the cheesy
do.
dude who...
With Woody Harrelson? Are we talking
Yeah, Woody
with
Harrelson.
the bowling and shit?
Yeah. I'm the greatest.
That's amazing.
I'm Big
that
Earn.
it came from
Yeah. That movie tickled me real tough because he was what they call a local piece of shit.
Oh my gosh, but it was a
he was
underdog
weasel,
story, man.
Yeah, he was
Such
a
good
weasel.
underdog story.
Yeah. So we just laughed at that part because he's like, you know what? I got $1 million. I can buy my way out of anything.
So did you give yourself that nickname?
Yeah.
Or did somebody else give it
Well,
to
you know, when I was in jail, we used to watch that movie all the time. Like one of the movies they let us watch movies in juvenile justice.
Right, they don't give you a full
Center.
selection. You just
Wrap her on up, head her on to the room.
Right,
Work with what you got.
Head her on in, wrap her on up.
Wrap her on up, head her on to the room.
So we was in there and we watched the movie, and so the gym, you know, I used to let a hoop or whatever. So every time I hit a jumper on somebody or take somebody to the cup, I tell them I'm the greatest because I'm Big Earn, and so it kind of went from there. And then so niggas started saying Earn, what you doing, Earn or Cadillac
Right.
or Earn or whatever. So
yeah.
so it ended up being that name.
Nicknames are interesting because, you know, in the black community, either you have a family nickname,
right.
Yeah.
or a friend of yours comes up with a nickname, or you come up with your own.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even really think about that, to be honest.
Like Red and Black, that's a family nickname.
That's a family
I'm pretty
name.
sure Wanda gave that to them.
Facts.
One of them was Red Bone, one was Black Bone. You know what I mean?
Right.
And speaking of nicknames, Mean Gene
Mean Jane.
Yeah.
came from
That was
my man's right here.
That was me, boss. That was me.
So you started that because I had that geeky name. My middle name's Eugene. I didn't like it.
Nope.
Yeah, nah.
And so you were using it to clown me, basically.
Yeah, you know what?
Eugene.
Because think about this guy. He's tough. You say something to him, he'll jump all on you. You know, and
Get
then,
him, Eugene.
Yeah. I'm like,
Eugene.
so I'm like, Eugene, what's the problem? We SS. And he gets into my face. Eugene, calm down. And so and so then like he got into it one time with somebody. And I was like, he was Mean Gene. You remember Mean Gene Oakland?
Yep.
So it was like that wrestling name.
Yeah,
he
Mean
was
Gene
real
Oakland.
like triggered, whatever. So I'm like, Mean Gene. It just stuck like that. And we used to laugh. I'm like, to go Mean Gene. And then it ended up being like he even got tattooed on his human body. So I think
Yeah, well, thank you, man, because
That is
like you
true.
said, I have Mean Gene tatted on my body, and
I'm
you
hoping like
gave me that
later
name.
we'll have photos of that, y'all. Hopefully we'll have photos. You know, I'm pretty sure there's a picture of you with his Mean Gene.
Well, we could take photos. Also, before I was Mean Gene, my nickname was Cornbread.
Cornbread.
I mean, obviously with my skin color.
So this
explains
is
it all.
pre-J then. This is I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
heard cornbread.
that's funny because I call people cornbread like those knuckleheads who got like 15 kids.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she run with cornbread.
So that was my nickname before Mean Gene, and Clint gave me that name.
That makes sense.
And then before that, I was Crondo.
Crondo. So you had a couple. Like
Yeah, Crondo was my
Crondo.
original nickname. What about you, Jay?
shit,
I
man.
know we always called you Crazo.
You know, it was Crazo.
Crazo,
Crazo got tatted on me for a while, man. I think
Crazo
that's
was nice.
that's when the other side started showing its face. You know what I mean? I had obviously Justin was my birth name. You know what I'm saying? My slave name, and then I got hit with J Bone. You know what I mean?
J-Bone, yeah.
J Bone was blessed onto me from R.I.P. to Rob G. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rob G was the one who
R.I.P.
blessed me with that name. He used to call me J Bonches. Let's go, J Bonches.
So that
And
name
then
was
Ike
given
would-
to you.
Yep,
Right.
that name was given to me. You know what I mean? And so I got hit with J Bone, J Bonches, and then the twins took that and ran with it.
Right.
Like, what's up, J Bone? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
But then I got hit with Crazo. which obviously speaks for itself. And then in the Spanish community, it translated to loco. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Loco was also a tag you would see back in the early '90s. Around St. Louis Park when I first came out to this joint. So
and now you're Jay.
Now I'm just Jay, man. Like I just.
So you got lazy with it, like nigga, let's use my first letter of my name.
Yeah, and I try to do
that's
just
what black
a
people
J.
shit, though. Simplify it all the way down to the
Right.
I'm B.
Right. What's your name? D. Oh,
right?
okay, cool.
And then plus it came from like obviously Jay-Z. I had Nas, Jay-Z were some of my favorite artists at the time. So
right.
And it just felt right. All the homies were saying it right. It just made sense to me. And I low key just never liked my name, Justin. You know what I mean? Like you saw mom, you had a mixed baby. A white boy didn't come out of you, you're just like, that's Justin. It's a mixed ass baby. Call me Justin or something.
Man,
put some flavor on that shit.
Justin is perfect for you, man.
Bless your heart, brother.
I think it's probably short for Justice, which is a good personality trait that you have. You're a straight shooter in an upright situation of a person.
Thank you, man.
So I would hold on to that name.
I was always like more like just playing. Like if I get pulled over, like you got your license, like maybe I'm just playing. I'm
just playing.
Right.
Well,
thank you, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, overall, dude, we're excited to have you on the show, dude.
Welcome and thank you for being here, man.
We are so happy about this.
Whenever I spend time with my dearest friends, you boys, man, we got so many stories. And
listen, man, you're one of the funniest dudes I know.
Legit, one of the funniest.
Literally, you two are probably the two funniest people I know, man.
Dude, I have my own style of comedy and stuff, but one of the things I always loved about Ike when we first met and stuff, I think that's what got us linked is we had this comedy about each other. And, I was preserved comedy more. Like I loved film and stuff, so I did most of that.
Right.
Like you were like on the spot, like just come up with some brilliant
ass shit.
Yeah.
Monkey ass out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Just
oh my gosh. And like you were the life of the party, like anytime, like everybody be cracking up. Like Ike showing up is like we just got a special guest for free because he's the homie and shit.
Stop that.
So to put the icing on the cake, you're the funniest motherfucker, but you're also one of the most smartest motherfuckers I know, man.
Oh, man.
And that's why I'm excited. We are excited to have you on the show right now,
Absolutely.
man.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, fellas.
Absolutely.
You know what? Anytime I can be in your presence is the essence of greatness. As soon as I get there.
Hey, let's cheers, fellas.
Cheers to that.
Love y'all, brother.
Cheers. I love you back, man. Good to see you.
Cheers, man.
So
I'm drinking a good Mexican beer here, yes.
I remember, so we don't hang out often anymore. Like we're all fam. We have our lives.
We do.
We work. We don't have time to kick it, but we do. We got to make more of an effort. You know what I mean?
As adults.
Yeah, absolutely.
As adults, we all got family. We talk about our kids earlier before we got on live, and we all have some ins and outs and ups and downs of this thing, but we definitely because it's medicine for us. When we all come together as men, we could build beautiful possibilities and things that we can do with people we trust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That means more than anything. And on top of that, we gonna laugh and have a damn good time at it. So
yeah, absolutely, man.
Definitely.
So one thing I remember about you, when we were teenagers and young adults, is that you've always been a religious person.
That's facts.
Have you been, as you've grown, are you getting more religious?
Yes. I actually, truthfully, I found more truth in the Bible than I became a skeptic over some years. Like, man, this whole thing is a joke. I just grew up in church, and that Bible was a funny bunny book, So then as I went back to it and read it and got into my own personal situation with God, I realized that a lot of this stuff makes weird sense.
Right.
In a weird time, and then, like, it makes sense in a way that... But I was like, you know what? Bullshit. I'm going to go check everything else out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it comes back to this, then we know it's the truth.
That's a hell of an approach. I like that.
So I went everything. I looked at Islam. I looked at Satanism. I looked at anything you could possibly look at, Buddhism. And I found that the Bible put it in perspective probably better than anything else. being the fact that many other cultures follow deities that came from the sky and granted knowledge. But there was one knowledge that was above other knowledge. And that's when I got back to the book. And when I found that, I said, oh boy. Because what the chicken wing preacher tell you when he's sweating
The
up
chicken
there,
wing preacher.
Yeah, chicken wing preacher. He got the Jerry curl. He, whoa, I
Is
gotta tell
that
you.
Eddie Murphy on Vampire in Brooklyn?
Right. When he's sweating and falling down and talk about Miss Smith pound cake. No, not that.
Right.
That actual true teachings of the book, you'll find some things that make you question some things. And then you go look for those things, and then you find something.
Yeah, which is crazy because we were just having this conversation not too long ago, like, in which kind of came out the blue, at least for us, because you already were doing it. But like, Gene started diving into scripture, right? Like,
So yeah, I'm reading the
Testament,
5 books of Moses. It's the Torah, but
Oh,
it's translated in English because I can't read.
Definitely.
And it's very interesting, man.
It is.
And so one thing I want to ask you is, what books have you read? As far as have you read Old Scripture, New Testament?
I read the full Apocrypha. I've read the Torah we call the Old Testament.
Yeah.
So I'm very familiar with the books, and I'm very familiar of the trajectory of the people from the book.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the people from the book have a history of doing certain things and then getting their hands spanked and then putting back on the path until God said, you know what? Have it your way. And then those people lost their inheritance and became something different. A byword amongst nations and so forth and so on. But once you realize that, then you start digging into the real puzzle. And the real puzzle is...
Hold on. Before we get into the real puzzle, let me ask you a question. So, in the 5 books of Moses, it's like at the very beginning, it's telling you, God said, let there be light. Let there be water. Let there be, what's the other ones?
Separate the waters above from the waters below.
And that's where the firmament comes into play.
That's correct.
And so what's your thoughts on the firmament, man? Like, is that a literal like thing?
That's a good question.
Or is it just metaphorically saying?
As far as I'm concerned, absolutely. Because when you look at the sky, you're going to find that everything in the sky moves around us. And as we see it, for ourselves, we see the sky moving around us. The sun and the moon on its own course going around us, giving us, as the book says, times, right? It gives us times and it gives us dates. So we have our months. The Hebrew calendar is, I think it's 28 and a half days for 12 months. And then under the sun calendar, it has to do leap years and all kind of stuff like that. But the original calendar, I think, is 28 and a half days for 12 months. And you're going to get all the waning of the moon and all this kind of stuff. And it all goes to biblical situations on how they did their Passovers. And
so as far as the firmament is concerned, though, like, what's your take on that?
I truly believe
so
it.
we're
Like, did we already cover though, like what firmament is?
Explain to us,
I have no idea. Y'all are spitting like a whole different language to me.
As far
I
as
love it though.
The Apocrypha tells us that the firmament is some sort of glass above earth. And like with me, I questioned that until I realized that Earth is a closed system. A closed system that actually it makes its own gradient.
What's that mean? I don't understand that.
Well, a gradient means that all of the gas inside of a closed system has levels.
Okay.
The heavier gas on the bottom, lighter gas on top. Being the fact that if you let go of a balloon, it goes up. a helium balloon. Helium is a lighter gas than air, than oxygen.
Right.
So therefore, in that medium, the helium goes to the top, and of course, the heavier gas goes to the bottom. It's called a dynamic system. A dynamic system means that everything is created from the bottom and goes to the top. If you understand the way gas operates, gas spreads in all directions. Any type of gas, it spreads in all directions.
Right.
It's like farts,
Exactly. That's
helium.
That's why I could fart over there and then Justin faint over there.
I always thought it was just personal. Like once you release it, you'd be like, get that motherfucker over there.
So God separated the waters from the earth and the heavens, and He made a firmament.
Right.
What is so? It's a glass. You're saying
so
half globe.
So during the flood, and then we have skeptics that say, "Well, there was no flood."
There was definitely a flood,
but we got a problem.
We talking about Noah flood here?
Yeah. On top of Mount Everest, they got a cluster of seashells on the highest peak of that mountain. We got a problem. If there was no flood, tell me how seashells can cover Everest.
Right.
Yeah, we got a few questions to ask ourselves.
I definitely believe there was a flood.
They found seashells on top of Mount Everest, and on top of not just that, on top of every other mountain range in the world. On top of that, in places like Utah, the mountains, they have these Great Salt Lakes, and of course the Great Salt Flats, and so it's big places on Earth that has tons of salt. And if you ever been in the ocean, you put your hand in that water, pull it up, you can see the salt crystals inside of your hand from the water.
Okay.
So we got a problem. There was once upon a time water covering this earth, and we have to admit it.
So do you believe that God opened the firmament and let water fall in?
The Bible said the windows of heaven opened.
Right.
And the water came down. So it wasn't just a rain. God flooded the earth. And being the fact that there's like enough water to cover this thing, what they say 15 to 20 times.
When you say like these seashells, is this like thousands of years ago you're talking about, or is this like within the last couple decades?
Well, science will tell you that with their geometric dating and all this, that this is all these million, thousands of years ago. But, I mean, we could be honest and say it was very recently. If the dinosaur bones still have carbon-15 in them, if the dinosaur bones have carbon-15 in them, and it takes 50,000 years for carbon-15 to go away, then it would have to be at least between 10 and whatever amount of years they want to kind of call it. But
so when you say carbon-15, like what is
carbon-14, I'm sorry.
14, what's...
It's just the measure of carbon that they can find inside of things so they can date it.
Is it like how a tree is when you cut a tree into the amount of rings or whatever, like something that symbolizes
one of those
the
things
age of it or whatever?
Where it's kind of an arbitrary science, I'm guessing, because they've dated things that were still living with carbon-14 and said it was thousands of years old and was still alive. So they really don't have a clue. Like they tell you that diamonds formed a long time ago, but these days they can make diamonds in a matter of weeks or months or whatever. So I just don't believe that science really grasps the understanding of the truth of, or they aren't telling us the truth, one of the two, about those situations. But I like it.
Sorry to go back. I want to get this firmament thing understood.
So the firmament is like, so they found these stones. They call it sky stones. These sky stones actually break down to pure oxygen. So they have to study them wherever they find them, because if they try to take them anywhere else, they disintegrate into air.
Right.
And so when they tested them, they found that it's mostly oxygen, but it's a stone.
So these that are falling from the sky.
Yes.
And are these aren't proven as meteorites or anything?
I don't know. This part I don't know. But the researchers from Antarctica said that they found it in like a wall of ice, and that they have researched it and have only found that it can only be researched right there in Antarctica, because they can't take it anywhere because it disintegrates into
Let me crack that for you, brother.
So before we get into that, and I love that. That's super deep, dude, and I'm very interested to see where we go. One of the obviously it's so good to see you, dude. You know what I mean? And we're super excited to get deep into this conversation. But one of the things also that really intrigued me, especially in the last couple of years, is that our boy Ike is like, you've been delving deep down that rabbit hole of the idea that possibly the earth is flat.
Yes. It's funny because when I first got into it.
Well, wait. Before you, so when you say that, so that's kind of y'all like kind of one of our topics and one of our talking points today. Earth. And Gene had a great intro to that, kind of asking the how, right?
Well, first and foremost, I want to let it be known that we're not here to debate Ike.
Right.
We're not here to debate him.
Absolutely.
We want to hear the knowledge he has about this conversation and also know how he became interested in it and how this all happened. You know, because we've seen all the debates, dude. Like, obviously, how long have you been into this? 5 years or so?
Yeah, about maybe 3 or 4 years.
So obviously, anything we bring up, you're gonna have a rebuttal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's not about that.
I feel like it's not about a rebuttal, because if a person has a belief, it's a lot easier to trick somebody than convince them that they're being tricked.
Like staying open-minded is
what I'm saying?
Right?
So like what I did in this first situation, we were debating evolution. I was on a podcast I was on a podcast on YouTube, and we were debating against these guys who were in the evolution.
This is in the beginning?
Yeah,
like
in the
before
beginning,
you even
before
thought
I even
about
thought about it.
Okay.
As far as I knew, like me, I grew up watching the planets. I don't know if y'all watch the planets, but I grew up watching the planets.
Right.
Yeah, Bill Nye the Science Guy and all that shit.
Yeah, I thought that just the thoughts of just other worlds, other things, just the third was wonderful.
I was a huge Star Trek fan.
Yeah.
Still am.
But that's the thing about when they say what they say stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
The truth is stranger than fiction.
That's
type
true.
Thing. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Right. So some guy jumps into the thing, and so I'm debating these guys, and we going back and forth.
And what are you debating at this time?
We were debating evolution.
Evolution? Like, are we talking like, what's the guy that talks about when the reptile comes out of the ocean and becomes like, who's that guy that says that?
Some guy.
Darwin, right? Darwin theory. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so we were breaking that apart, and it's a long story, but some guy jumps in the thing and said, "Have you researched flat Earth?" And I jumped in his case, man. You must be a clown, idiot. What's wrong with you?
Flat Earth, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah, get that folly out of here.
And this is 5 years ago, right?
Yeah,
so,
about 4.5 years ago.
Okay. And so, like, beginning, you're arguing the evolution. Are you going against the Darwin believers?
Yeah, I'm going
and
totally
going more on the religious,
like
we all like Adam and Eve type stuff?
Well,
or
I just only I know is that it's a lot of holes.
Yeah.
When you expose the holes, people get upset but don't have answers. So
Right.
I was staying on top of the holes, like, don't go over there, come back over here.
So this guy kind of.
So this guy kept jumping in the inbox like, flat Earth. And I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. And he's like, well,
get out of here, clown.
Right. Get out of here.
Get out of here, cocksucker. Beat it.
I ain't want to say it. Right. I was like, man, 30 to 40 guys took a beat type. Yeah, so I'm telling this guy he's a bum, he's a clown, this and third. And every day we get back on this thing, he'll jump in my inbox. So did you research it yet? No. Why'd I research something stupid like that? Idiot.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that went on for maybe like a month and a half.
Okay. Oh shit! Yeah, like a whole month and a half.
He rolled me down to the China line, man.
And you would stand your ground, right?
Like, man, I'm not even going to think that folly.
Because we're taught as children that, so we never question it.
Yeah.
Me,
kindergarten, we used to spin the globe. I remember we used to come in. We do our ABCs and we take turns. The teacher be like, "Get away from that globe," and we was spinning that globe. And
right.
China. You know, so
right.
type of
Spin
deal.
it where you're gonna go, like okay.
New York, yeah,
right.
So that's where. So I'm like, dude, that's idiotic, man. If that whole thing is covered with NASA, I told him, I've heard of the moon landing. I mean, come on, what are we talking about? And then the guy just kept working at me. So he's like, well, you know what? Just show me one picture from NASA that's not a cartoon
or a painting
that is, or what they call it is a CGI, or an artist rendering.
Yep.
Okay.
And I went there, and give me 5 minutes, bomb.
I'm about to shut this.
Give me
fool
5
down
minutes,
in
Bones.
just a couple
This nigga
seconds.
down
Right?
right quick.
Okay.
And so,
So
you
you
know,
was ready.
after about a month and a half, I had to find this guy. Because once he knew I was looking, he left me alone.
Okay.
Okay.
He put me down a rabbit hole and told
like,
me,
which
check it out.
even-
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Same way I try to tip people. Go ahead, take a look. Tell me something that I don't know.
Give him a taste.
good look. Right. So,
Right.
So he does that. He leave me alone. So I had to come back to the thing like, hey man, I want to apologize to you, man.
So you dug into it.
I dug into it.
and you saw some things that were suspicious.
Well-
and
There's a show called Nathan Oakley Flat Earth Debate.
Nathan
This guy
Oakley.
debates it every single day.
Okay.
Every single day. Nathan Oakley Flat Earth Debate.
Hmm.
Every single day. And he has astronomers and PhDs. And when you see him baffle these people and embarrass these people,
right.
because he
This is someone that went from science to.
no, this guy is just like we all fall in the same hole.
Okay.
We all fall in the same hole.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Except he's English, so he talks really funny and chop 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 chop. And
Cheerio.
he like blood
TTFN.
I have a, like, not to fall off like course right, I want to stay out there, but I have a good friend of mine, Francis, who I work with at a school, and I even asked him, like, because, you know, it became so American to, like, it's okay to be like, hello, how you doing? Like,
Right.
and it's not disrespectful,
good,
right? I
though.
always ask him, I was like, hey, bro, like, when we
They
make
get
jokes about that, I'll drop my napkin or something like that's not offensive. And he always said, he's like, no, we're good. We're always good.
You guys want to hear something funny, man? Is hearing a black Brit, dog.
Ain't that funny as hell?
No, dude, watch
like
Green,
cornbread and shit,
Green,
like-
You fucking wankster.
watch Green Street Hooligans, y'all. Watch Green Street Hooligans. It's a dope ass film that talks about people that, like, you know, just all those folks, right?
Right.
Black, white, and all them. They're always getting in these street fights where they're bringing like knives
Knives,
and
yeah.
all.
I think I watched
it's
that,
a
yeah.
crazy, but there's a brother in there that let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, what you want to do? You want to go ahead? Let's go.
Right.
And he makes, and I almost say like he just makes it sound even cooler, you
Right.
know, because he's got like this African vibe mixed with.
He like
this
a
British
Nigerian that's in England. I mean, he's a bad before
Honey,
yeah.
man, you want the bum bum? You want the roll with the chicken boys? And the bell, chicken bum.
Whoa! He went all the way down the street with that shit. Yeah,
So
wonderful.
here's this guy telling you this stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah, no. So what I like about this situation is that they'll let anybody come in.
Okay.
They'll let you can call in yourself and say, you know what, this and that third, and then they cover every point so clear that all you can do is just say, damn, well, okay, cool. Let me go find something else and come back, and they keep covering it. The Black Swan, the you know, and the Black Swan is something like if the Earth is 25,000 in circumference, you can only see it 1.5 miles from 6 feet height. You know, how the horizon should be 1.5 miles out or something like that. I'm probably saying it way wrong. But
Hey, Ike, real quick. So this dude challenged you. He kept fucking
yeah.
pestering you.
He pestered me to death.
And so you end up looking into it. And what did you look up? Like, what was your first thing that you looked up?
the lack of curvature, that was a problem for me.
So you went on YouTube? Is that what you did?
Well, what it was that, so when I first got to looking for this, it was like 3% flat earth and 97% ball earth. And they was bringing these things, they was smacking flat earth around.
Right.
Okay.
That was about 5 years ago. And so, you know, it wasn't a lot of answers because we all come here like, okay, what's going on this and third?
Right.
So then we started breaking it down. So a guy named Jaredism, he does a lot of, you know, just showing the idiocracy of NASA.
Jared, who's Jared?
Jaredism.
Jaredism?
I'm not familiar with that term.
Is that
Can you
like a
explain it?
person?
Jaredism
or-
is he got his own like podcast thing, but he has a lot of videos on just how it's totally just CGI.
Right.
You know, the people being in the space, whatever
Yeah.
they call it. What they call
So
it?
there's
The
like-
ISS.
The ISS, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
They're in the ISS and they, you know, the green screen, and then they have technical difficulties, and then you see some guy like sitting down, and like the screen buckles, the guy just sitting down, like, and you see the screen in the back, or like the screen buckles,
right?
And then you see like, so it's almost like a studio, like where all this behind us will be like.
Are you talking about the moon landing? Or is that's a whole?
That's even more.
We'll get into that in a minute.
What are you specifically talking about there?
I'm talking about the ISS footage,
International Space Station footage.
When they
did their first flight, or
no, when that technology buckles and you see like the screen behind them, and all of a sudden it goes blue. That type of weird shit.
Right.
And so like one time they brought the president to wherever they were at in the real world, and the guy was like, had some balls, and he was doing this type of shit with the thing.
They're floating around,
right.
And all that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they bring President Bush in a wheelchair through, right? And so he stops and salutes, and you see like the blue screen behind him and shit. Because as far as we can see, like in the studio, it's like him in like this setting of ISS, and he's throwing the ball around and showing how slow things going.
Right.
And then you see George Bush come past like on a different camera. In a wheelchair, they bring him in
at regular speed.
And he's waving with the blue screen in the background, like.
So, do you ever consider that maybe those are fake videos?
Yeah, I do.
So, how do you?
But this thing about it is that NASA has a beautiful budget.
Yes, they do.
$58 million a day.
Yeah,
A day. God damn.
which is weird because like they keep saying we need to fund NASA. Like I need to be funded, motherfucker. Like,
Oh yeah,
$58 million
reparations,
a day,
nigga.
right? And only thing they ever seen you is a cartoon picture of Earth. They right now, I just looked at one today because I wanted to bring one to the podcast to show y'all.
Yeah.
But it was so embarrassing. I'm not wasting my time.
So Ike, I'm gonna tell you, man. Like I've been looking into this, and a lot of the pictures I see, there's not pictures of Earth. You know what I mean? They're really close up pictures. And some people say like the Earth is flat because you could watch this picture.
Right.
But it's a close up picture. So you can't see the curvature. But like you were saying, a lot of it, like underneath it'll say this was rendered by so and so.
Yeah.
And it's not a real, but
Exactly.
to me it looked real. I was like, God damn, I thought that was a real picture of Earth.
We don't know what real looks like. You gotta think about it. First, it was a circle. Then it was oblong. What they said it was oblong. And then it was shaped like a
English. Oblong. No
pear.
English.
It was shaped like a pear. All to me it is a fancy ball. Okay.
Yeah.
If you take that same picture that NASA gives you and you put it on the photo editing tool, you're gonna find it like it's a guy who made the blue marble. We had it on our computers. You remember in the early 2000s, in the late 90s, the blue marble?
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll spin on your computer and it's pretty fun. You're like, wow, this is wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Earth is great. Look at
Well,
this.
look at this pretty motherfucker we live on, right? Well, the guy says, well, I had to change the water because it looks different now. I had to add the editing tool. I don't know what it looks like. I didn't run out of space, so I used the editing tool for the clouds. And so he did a lot of editing. He said, well, the reason why I did that because it looks flat. Huh?
So,
I know.
So like
Justin, you have your computer. Can you look up an image of Earth?
Please.
Yeah, absolutely. While I do so, I do want to talk about like so for me, one of the things that I caught as I was diving down this rabbit hole, right?
It's a rabbit hole.
It is.
Definitely,
It truly
dude.
is.
Like, for the last 2 weeks, I've been diving
and
deep,
it's
man.
very interesting, very
It is.
intriguing. Don't get
I
me
agree.
wrong. Like I love that. And one of the videos I came across was when you were talking about horizontal, the horizon or whatever, so they had this National Geographic video and they had these scientists that,
I saw that one.
You did, where they
the
brought
boat?
like some of the flat earthers there.
Yeah.
Do you consider like flat earth, right?
yeah,
like
right.
flat earthers.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
they brought them there and they did the boat. Now that boat's based off of like, is it Socrates or Aristotle or one of them?
Yeah, one of them.
Created this like boat and this theory where if I were to send this boat out with this
Right.
like
They go
this
over the
board
edge,
that has
right.
these flags. So like he goes out, and the further it gets, those stripes, there's these multiple stripes on it, and
That's the Bill
stripes
Nye
start
one,
to,
right? That's the
right.
Bill
So
Nye one,
these stripes start to disappear. That would start to prove the curvature of the planet.
Right.
So I was real curious.
I liked that one.
Yeah, and then when they showed them, what threw me off is like, a lot of these flat earthers that were there, like some of the top people were there watching. They had new age
Fill that out for
technology,
you.
and so they show it, and they did the whole experiment that they did, and sure enough, like as the further it goes out, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like we don't know, like it could have been maybe 50 to 100 miles, but
Yeah, but Justin, that was wonderful, right?
good right now.
That was wonderful because that was in the very beginning. They made that video in the very beginning, like 3 or 4 years ago, before the
Okay.
thing got real heated. So what they actually turned around and did, they did the same thing. Boat goes out of the horizon, it disappears over the horizon.
Yeah.
But we got to understand a couple things about our vision, the way our eyes work.
You can only see so far.
We can only see so far before the top turns into the bottom.
Yeah.
You ever been on the highway and see a sign way down there? Like, just if you look forward towards the sign, the sign
I'm a
is
little
really.
closer to the mic.
I'm
You
sorry,
got it.
the signs are really tiny.
Okay.
But as you get closer, they get bigger, and you can see, okay, that's Sea Lake Road.
Okay.
But if you on a flat highway or whatever, way down there, you can't. You know it's a sign down there, but you can't see what it is.
Right.
Because your perspective is not. You know what I'm saying? Your perspective is it can't quite catch what's going on.
So, but in this video though, like they were showing, like they had their cameras at 3 to 40 times zoom, to get out as far as they could to follow this raft that went out there, and it started to show less and less stripes. You know that they were saying their proof was that there's curvature in the planet.
Well, the part is that even with the best eye, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, so you only get as far as your perspective can go. So even with a pair of binoculars or even a telescope, if you're looking out on your horizon, it's going to get smaller as far as the view go. So, but you got to understand.
So you're saying it's about it getting smaller, not about it going curving.
If that's the case, you can see New York from China. That's like Muppet
But there's
business.
an atmosphere, so that's going to disgruntle what you could see.
Exactly, and then that's what they call refraction.
Okay.
Refraction is this with the light, the light curves and bends and stuff like that. As you get further away, your eyes can only see so far, and the best eyes can only see so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct? But this is the only problem. Water has something called level. We see it around the world.
Yeah.
It's called sea level. I know people might not have heard of that. It's weird. It's a weird type of situation.
No, everybody's heard of it.
Yeah. Right.
The
Sea level.
sea level. Can you pull up the definition of level for me, please? I just
Hey,
wanna
do you
make-
think Crips be like sea level, nigga?
Are you talking about
Probably.
the definition?
Sea level, nigga.
Probably.
Are you talking about the definition of sea level
No,
here?
just of level. I just wanted to make sure.
Definition.
Level.
Okay.
It didn't pull up sea level. We want to make sure it's the same type of token. We want to make sure the token is correct.
Okay. So right now you're looking for that's
Definition of level first. I want to make sure we have the definition correct before we go to sea level.
all right. So a horizontal plane or line with respect to the distance above or below a given point.
Oh, okay. Can we pull up sea level, please?
Okay.
Sea level or SEA level?
You funny. You're a funny guy.
No,
He's a funny guy.
It shows. It's just so
Funny
Snoop.
guy. Right.
Sea level.
Oh, South Central.
I smell it. Let me inhale it.
Hey, baby.
All right. So let's see. Definition of sea level is what you're looking for.
That's correct.
The level of the sea's surface used in reckoning the height of geographical features such as hills and as a barometric standard.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
I mean, they lost me at barometric, that's
No,
for sure.
it's just the standard of. You ever heard of a sextant?
A what?
A sextant. Well, once upon a time, before we had this great world we live in,
yeah.
there was a. The sextant is how the people before the Earth was a ball navigated the world.
Yeah.
Seems they got there okay. to world-renowned places. But,
Right.
You know, let's just say that it triangulates the stars to the horizon. And you can't get a horizon without a flat plane because the triangulation needs two flat sides. You know?
So let me ask you something, man. All right. So, fuck. How do I want to say this? I lost my train of thought, man.
It's okay.
So when you were sending me videos, I watched all of them.
Right.
And one thing that I thought was very interesting is there's a Van Allen radiation belt. There's two of them. Right. Are you familiar with that term?
Yes.
So can we talk about that, dude?
Well,
the Van, like, so people that are listening and watching, there's two belts around the Earth.
Right.
Two radiation belts.
Is there a radiation belt, or do they know there's something, there's a dome, there's something above us that we can't go through?
Right.
That's a 50-50 because nobody can go through the radiation belt. But NASA went through it 3 times, but now today they say they can't go through it, but they went through it in 69.
So do you think the radiation belts are the firmament?
I don't know. I just believe that they, as they say, it's a painful process to get back to the moon.
I feel,
and they can't leave low Earth orbit. I don't know. That's what they say. I don't say that.
Right.
This what they tell. That's what they tell Congress.
I find it very suspicious that we have never been to the moon again after the 60s and 50s.
Right. Well, when you can't fake it no more.
Oh, we're jumping on that radiation belt?
Yep, yeah, we're talking about the band.
You know, I don't, truthfully, honestly, I don't know. I've never been there.
Right.
So I'm not going to be that guy to say, well, blah, blah, blah. No.
Dude, did you know that in 1952, they blew up an atomic bomb to try to get through the radiation belt?
That was crazy when you told me that.
Was that the radiation belt or was that the firmament? Uh-oh.
That's a good question.
You said something.
So is the radiation belt the firmament?
No, time out. Time out. That,
because it's still kind of the same.
No, that thing has an
idea,
name.
Right?
That has a name, don't it?
You gotta excuse me real quick. My small bladder.
I mean, I had the first small bladder. I went before you, so you good.
No, but it has a name.
Yeah.
So they shot nuclear weapons at the sky.
Yeah.
2 times as big as fucking Hiroshima.
Yeah.
At the sky.
So hold on. Let's hold on to that because I know that Gene really is intrigued on that. Okay. Like he hit me up and he was like, he threw me off with this radiation belt. What I was telling Gene is that I've never personally have ever heard of that. It's never been taught in schools. I work at a school. Never have I once walked into a science place where they're talking about like.
Okay, so I'll bring it back to Gene when we get back.
Yeah.
But the astronauts from the 50s and 60s and 70s said we flew right through a Van Allen radiation. We didn't even know we was going through it.
Right.
So nuclear weapons can't go through it?
Yeah.
Oh boy. We got a problem.
Right.
Oh boy. You know what? I got some news.
And so let me ask you this then while we're waiting for Gene to come back, because I know, like I said, I know he's hard on that radiation belt. I kind of want to know a little bit about, like, from what I was. Oh, he's back. I do want to talk about a little bit about Antarctica though.
Oh yeah,
and jump on that because
that blows my mind too.
That's a whole nother subject. So once Gene's back, now that he's back, we'll finish this radiation belt, but we will jump on this Antarctica.
So what we were saying about the radiation belt, okay?
Belts,
the
two
belts.
Yeah.
So when they interviewed the what they call them, the astronauts.
Right.
Not.
Say that again.
Not. What's that? Oh, my fault. I missed it. So
that was amazing.
So when they used the astronauts about the the guy said, "Man, we went right through it. We didn't even know we even had it. We didn't know that was a radiation belt. It's radiation belt."
Right.
What?
We can't go through. It's big time stuff. What you talking about?
Because it's gonna shut down the equipment, and the people that go through it could possibly die.
You want to know
or
why
get
it's gonna
sick,
shut it down?
right?
Am I gonna shut it down? Because it's the firmament. Did you see the rockets thing that I sent y'all? Where the rockets went all the way up and stopped in the middle of nowhere for no apparent reason?
I did a little bit see that, yeah.
Was that weird?
Well, it's weird, but the thing for me is there's so much technology, man. Like, I can't trust that it's real.
No,
And I'm not saying nothing
I feel
against
I feel you. No,
Well,
no, no.
and we're at
I feel
a
you.
spot of
I feel you.
deep fakes almost. Like
No.
someone can actually show someone else's face, like full blown,
Right,
and ruin their lives. So
no, but I feel you. But if you ever remember, I don't know if we was in high school around the time when they talk about the rocket went up and started going sideways, and we was like, it's got to get to equilibrium so you go out of space.
yeah,
The flying fuck.
So their argument is that it goes straight up, and then to gain that amount of speed, they need to break the atmosphere. That it has to go sideways, because obviously going up's gonna make you go slower. If you go side, you're gonna be able to go faster.
Right. Okay. Cool.
So that's their argument.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go sideways.
But
for
if
'em.
you read the NASA's glider, I'm glad you said that. Gene, you're a genius.
No, stop it.
Smart dude.
Stop it.
Good looking son of a bitch, too.
Light skin is in, gentlemen.
We've had really
Three
good deep
light skin-
conversations, man. Yeah, absolutely.
So we got a problem with the glider. The glider itself, as it released from the rocket, it's going to need atmosphere. That's the reason why they told you that we can't go no further. Today's not telling you we can't go no further than low Earth orbit.
yeah.
Because you gotta have something to hold on to. You gotta have thrust. The thrust gotta be able to, you gotta be able to have some oxygen and some air, things that we have in our
Yeah.
closed system. That's the only way our closed system devices work.
Yeah. So for me, like some of the, questions I do have when it comes to that is like, we have history of science, right? We have trails back almost 1,000 years when we talk about Aristotle and Socrates and all them and many others. I mean, like who's that guy? MC Square.
Yeah.
Einstein.
I was about to say Beethoven. That's how far away. Right? Goddamn. But anyways, like we go far back on this science. So my question has always been like, why has it like, is there that big of a conspiracy? Like, why would they lie about the planet being
Yeah, that's a good question. Like,
That's a damn good
etheric?
question, ain't
You
it?
know what I mean?
Why
Like,
would
why
they
would they
lie?
lie
The
so
question
long?
is, why wouldn't they?
But what is
Okay,
it? Like,
so-
is it
so
like
if-
scared of like
I know.
mass chaos, or
No,
was it world order, or
it's smaller than that. It's smaller than that. If you remember when they so-called went to the moon, they said there's no God up here.
so it's based on religion? You're thinking?
they said there's no God up
There's
there.
no God up
So
here.
you're thinking it's religious. So you think that was the start of like the scientific and religion beef, like Biggie and Tupac shit?
No. That started back in the Vatican in the old times.
Okay.
But there's books on that. I'm not going to get into that because that's a deep story. There was amongst this flat Earth and this round Earth thing. That was a big time conspiracy.
Okay.
Amongst the people who believed and didn't believe, it was deep. And
Okay.
it went all the way up to the 1900s. But small things to a giant, prevailers prevailed. And
Yeah.
so now we have what we believe is called NASA.
So, like, as he asked, though, like, what would be the purpose of this big lie?
Yeah.
That's my question.
So, you don't really know. You're trying to figure it out.
No. Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. The shit get weird when you start digging into the esoteric part of this thing. I didn't want to bring it up on your podcast.
I'm not
because
familiar with that terminology,
Yeah,
man.
neither
I'm just
am I.
asking.
esoteric means like it gets to the dark side of things.
Okay.
Okay, so esoteric, NASA in Hebrew means deceiver, deceive, deceiver, deceive, whatever.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Damn.
That's Hebrew.
Yeah.
I know you would know that because that's your thing. I know you.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, my brother. I know you know that. I know you know that. Look into it though. So, deception. Okay. Now, if you look at the Vatican, The greatest telescope is called Lucifer.
What?
What? Y'all
Is that
missed
something?
Are you
that's
serious?
Googleable? Like I could Google that.
Google it, please.
Hold
Lucifer
on. And what's it called?
Lucifer telescope.
Lucifer telescope.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
Absolutely,
I
man.
wasn't gonna go there. I
You're
was gonna leave it alone. I was.
Look, man, like we're just trying to learn.
It's weird.
Dude,
I know.
and we're
dude,
so like.
it's too weird, dude. It's too weird. That's why
Yeah.
I wanted to leave a lot of this thing out of it. I didn't want you to be part of this shit. I didn't.
This podcast is all about leveling up and bridging gaps and learning new things. You know what I mean? So like
Dude,
that's what we're trying to do is learn something.
promise you,
How,
man.
so is Lucifer the largest telescope? I mean, they're coming with that. Hold on, let me see if I can
Lucifer
pull up
telescope.
what is
all you
the
gotta do. It'll
Lucifer.
tell you
Okay,
all
hold
about
on.
it. Lucifer telescope.
What is okay? Which is crazy. I'm sorry. I'm just trying.
candy, sweet
Okay,
gold.
so I'm just trying to. I mean, it's all right. So it says the LBT Large Binocular Telescope, but is that the Luther? Are we on the same track?
Yeah, that's the-
that's
keep
what
on
it pulled up.
Keep on going.
Is a collaboration between astronomical institutes in Germany, Italy, and the U.S. The telescope is located on. It's just basically saying where it is, but
Right.
what is it is the question.
That's the name of it, though.
So when I pull up Lucifer telescope, it just keeps bringing up this large binocular telescope.
That's what it is.
Okay.
It's a telescope, but it's a Catholic Vatican thing, weird shit that gets deep and weird and offset. But amongst the known astronomers who try to prove the Earth was a ball, it gets deeper down that same rabbit hole, bro. So I'm not gonna go there on your podcast because I want to keep this shit.
Oh, we
light.
can definitely go there. I mean, time obviously is always a factor. I mean,
We
you
can
guys,
make it
I
a two.
love
We can
this.
make it a 2-part series if we have to.
We,
Hey, bro,
we
I'm
almost
just
have to.
saying.
We're already, just so we're all checking in, we're already at like 51 minutes.
so
saying-
we can't end it now.
no,
I know,
we
but
It's
can't.
going to be a
But
2-part
bro,
series.
the things get weirder and weirder as you go. Because, okay, if there is no God,
Right.
in which that's what I was comfortable with.
Yeah.
I was comfortable with that. Because I'm a first class piece of shit.
Beautiful, well.
Dude, don't
What
beat
do we
yourself
know?
up.
We
You
are
made some mistakes, but you're a
amazing
good guy.
motherfucker.
No, I'm
Yeah,
honest,
you
I'm honest
like-
about me, though.
Yeah, you
Right.
made some
I'm honest
mistakes,
about me.
but you're all right.
But when you realize that when you start looking to this thing, that you're going to keep finding the person you're not looking for,
Yeah.
it gets weird.
Yeah.
And so when
I'm trying to
I
tell you
think
something,
about it, though,
bro.
it's like, so you're saying,
You're going to keep finding the one you're not looking for.
so you're saying if people found out scientific, like just say, if people found out there
Scientists know.
was no God,
No,
there
the
is
scientists,
no
the
God.
scientists know.
Are you saying there's no God?
No, the scientists know that there is a God.
And they don't
the
want-
only thing about it is that they're trying to stand on the fact. That's why they would silence a person who knows the firmament.
So they work for Satan.
I don't know.
So it's like that deep. So it's like
Do they?
deep as fuck right there.
Dude.
Like, okay.
Dude,
So-
the thing about it
so-
is that
so
hold on,
your
hold on.
overall, though,
no,
like-
no.
okay.
Let me explain to you about the whole thing about witchcraft.
Okay. Oh shit, we're diving in.
I gotta take you here just a peek though, just a peek.
Okay.
Look
like
in there.
like a trailer.
But
Got you.
don't put your hand in there. Just look in there with me.
Okay.
We gonna both look
Like
at it together.
you can look
Hold
at
on,
the
let
triantula.
me pour
just-
some more gin real quick.
You can look at the triantula. Just don't touch it.
Just
right?
don't
okay,
touch
okay.
it. Okay? The way evil works is that it has to be accepted. From its very beginning, you had to make a choice.
Yeah.
You gotta make a choice. So when you
What are
say
the choices?
the choices is, you know what? There's no God. Fuck it.
Evil or good?
So
I don't
wait
know,
though.
is
Hold on. Let's back that
No,
up
no,
real
no,
quick
no,
though.
no. We chose good and evil.
Yeah.
That's what it said in the book.
Okay.
It said we chose the knowledge of good and evil. That's what we chose.
So now knowing like what
But
you
now
know
we
now,
know.
and when you first stepped into it, you said you were very religious, right? In a
no,
lot
no,
of
no,
ways.
no. I wasn't. I gave up on all that bullshit.
Oh,
I
okay.
gave up on religion, all that shit. And
This
I'm
is before your debate with this flat earther guy, or
dude. I said, you know what? I prayed.
I thought you were strong in the religion then.
I did.
Okay.
But I prayed to God and said, God, you know what? Forget about it.
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, at this point in this time, right now,
Right.
where do you stand? Like, where do you stand as far as religion, science, whatever?
Typical religion, I do not adhere to.
Okay.
I don't adhere to Easter because it has its roots. I don't adhere to Christmas because it has its roots. I only adhere to biblical principle. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
So
Everything
you're
else
still
is-
staying with the religion. then?
Everything else, but yeah, definitely.
So are you
Definitely
God, or
religious.
like is it more of a creator then?
God?
Or
I don't
it's
do the
God?
I don't do the universe or the omniverse. I'm not Dragon Ball Z. I'm not doing all that shit with y'all, man.
So,
There's one
okay.
God, one creator, and think about God. He tells you the end from the beginning. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
He tell you what you're going to. I don't have to tell you about your fucking. I don't have to tell you nothing about your one world government. Y'all see that before your eyes. I don't have to tell y'all about that. I don't have to tell you about the Cash Society. Y'all see that happening before your eyes. I don't have to tell you about that. One thing I'll tell you about is that it was written a long time ago.
So that's a good point. It was written a long time ago. So it's for me, it's kind of hard to take it as facts. Because you know how it is.
I
I
feel
tell you a secret, like, hey, Jay, this nigga, man. Da, 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 da.
What?
You tell the next man a secret.
Right.
It's going to
Telephone.
change.
It's
the
telephone.
world. Telephone,
Or
exactly.
Like, I was
yeah.
gonna say the
So,
cup game, but we on the
over
same page.
thousands
Okay,
of years
Right.
of a man wrote that story. You know what I mean?
I
And
feel
that's
that.
what boggles
God
me.
wasn't sitting there writing the story.
No, I
He
feel
told
that.
a man it.
So do you
you
think
know what?
do you think all
I
of it kind
totally
of boils down
feel
to
that.
just power in general? Like, is it just a power and control?
Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
It's just a power trip.
It's a
All of this.
power trip amongst a power people.
Right.
Who controls it all.
Yeah.
And can make controlling all for a long time.
What
But
do you?
so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
you go
ahead.
first.
Well, I was just saying. So when you talk about the power control, what throws me off and what Gene and I were talking about, what I was excited for is just like where does the size of the shape of the Earth have to do with the power and control? Like I feel
Exactly.
like people
Well,
shouldn't
this the whole thing
worry
about
about. Well, if the Earth is
I know,
round, like
I know.
okay,
Thank
if the
you.
Earth
Thank
is
you,
flat,
bro.
same.
I said the same thing. Was it matter?
Right,
Right.
What the fuck does it matter? Who cares?
right, exactly.
That's what I said.
It's not gonna change my life.
But this is the
Right,
problem. This is the problem. If you ever met the facts of it is what it was written, compared to the people who say it's not what it is,
Yeah.
that's perspective of like 99% of the world. Suppose that 1% is 100% correct. You don't think about the story about the lie, right?
The lie.
The lie. It
Goliath.
makes- the lie.
I'm not sure. What are you talking about?
The lie makes itself around the world 3 times before the truth put its shoes on.
Okay.
And even if the lie is believed by 99% of the persons,
Right.
it's still a lie.
Right.
You see how the lie works? So the trick of the matter is that why in the hell would even our best sites for supposed to call it free speech and all this kind of shit, why would you block this information
Yeah.
if it's just bullshit?
What do you think the
Hold on,
overall
real quick.
agenda is?
So, I love that. So, just so we're double checking real quick. So, we lost this shot only because storage is full. On here, obviously, I'm a videographer. I have thousands of videos, so I get rid of all that. So, right now, we're at the wide shot. Is where we're gonna stay focused. We can keep going,
Is my
or
phone
we
still
can.
going?
Yep, your phone's still going. But right now, at this moment, we're relying more on here and here. And what I like to do is, once that happens, it's always guest forward. So I don't want to spend too much time.
Do how you want to do because I need to make a
focusing
phone
on
call. I
that.
got a phone call that's blowing me up about my
Right,
car.
exactly. So I
Right
think
now.
let's give a couple more minutes because, like you said, Gene, I love the idea that I think this is a 2-part thing.
It is.
And one of the things I wanted to bring up is that obviously one of our next guests is going to be none other than Sneaky Cliff. that boy,
Sneaky freaky.
That's what I say,
Freaky
Cliff.
sneaky.
He like the prankster, the knowledge, the spiritual traveler. Now
I'm sure he's got his own place in the world right,
Right,
now.
exactly. So Cliff is
That's gotta be
kind of
beautiful.
on this similar
What is
path.
it, Buddhism?
Honestly, I think it's like, I'll let him like say it, you know, but I think it's a form of spirituality, kind of where he's going. He's going more on, I think, maybe the cosmos and shit like that, right? So our idea is that what we want to do is, you know, we're going to have Cliff on the show soon too, but then we want to be able to have both of y'all on this show together to kind of really dig deep on what's going on with that, right?
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. So what we're going to do right now is we have a couple more minutes to spare, which will be our wide shot, you know what I mean? But till then,
I don't like ending it right now, man. I feel like we just got started.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can give me a couple seconds. You can keep going. I mean, right now, dude, we are
like, how do you guys feel? Like, I feel like we're just getting into it, man.
No, I agree.
I have more. I need to take about my car.
I agree.
Should we take a break and do a phone call?
Yeah, make
smoke
a
cigarette.
Yeah, let me get this shit squared away.
Is that cool, Jay?
I mean, we can. You know,
can we do it? Can you edit this?
You know, I can. It just raises the challenges, and like we're already bleeding over an hour, which is the main thing that I love is that I want to keep it going, you know what I mean? But if it's at that hour, I have 3 hours of footage on top of each other. We want to keep going, right?
Too, it's up to you, bro.
And I want to keep this going. Don't get me wrong.
It's nice to leave a cliffhanger, though,
I'm just not comfortable with the ending.
Exactly.
I know, we got so much to cover.
And I haven't really got started with
it. And I think I love this cliffhanger that you talk about, because I think people are going to love this fucking episode. I mean, we've, like you just said, we're just getting started to a point where we can't just cover this in 1 hour. This might be 3
I got
episodes.
a lot of people who hate my fucking guts on Facebook, so this shit gonna get a lot of views.
Well, Ike, for one, I just want to say, dude, thank you so much for being on this show, dude. I mean, obviously, it's weird
brothers.
because like us cutting it short is an hour in, which is crazy. It's the first time we actually said that.
We knew this was
right?
gonna be a motherfucker.
I haven't even gotten started yet.
Yeah.
How did it go by so quick?
Because we a bunch of old turds and we love how we deal with each other.
So is that what it is, Jay? We just gotta cut it.
So I think just to play it safe, and I think like I love what Ike is saying. We're leaving on the cliffhanger because I think people are gonna want to know more. I think we're gonna have another interview with you, dude. And I think the success of this podcast right here,
I want to see y'all get there, man.
It's gonna open up, dude,
because if y'all get there, then I can do a podcast like boom and bring y'all to my shit. Like let's build.
Ike, this shit's finna blow up, man.
I know. I can
and
tell.
you're gonna be one of our regular, because you're just a fun motherfucker.
You are, dude.
You're gonna be one of our regular guests.
But y'all my brothers, though. So I don't give a fuck if whatever the hell, man. I look to y'all.
Thank you, man.
That's all I care about. If y'all go to the top, man, all I want to do is be able to rock a t-shirt, B. I'm good with y'all t-shirts, man.
What's crazy, like G said, I mean, this is at least in our level up history, we've had a guest where we've gone to a point where we have to cut it. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited, y'all, with the fact that y'all are going to have an opportunity for us to keep this going. So please, if you really like this episode, fucking subscribe,
and please, comment, man. If you guys have something you want,
call me a jerk, low life loser. Please do something, man. Do something. I love it.
Yeah, if you guys have something you need to tell Isaiah, please put it in the comments.
I'm on Facebook too. Y'all can hit me on Facebook. I ain't tripping, man.
Tell us about. So you're on Facebook. What else are you on?
That's YouTube, but that's small potatoes.
Do you have a YouTube page?
I do, but
what's it called?
It's just me.
Just me?
No, it's Isaiah. I'm fucking talking about just me.
So also though, Isaiah is a plumber, man, and he's a nigga. So I'm sure you do a side hustle, right?
That's correct.
So if you guys ever need any plumbing work done, holler at Isaiah, man. Like he'll come to your house, he'll fix your shit up. He got a printership, right?
That's right. Third year, I'm good.
30 years. So holler at him if you need some plumbing.
I love that.
Keep it under the table, though, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Fuck that tax shit. You know what I mean?
As my president say, come on.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
So like Gene said, y'all, please share the video. Comment on it. Share, all that good stuff that y'all millennials and young folk do. As well as our old heads.
I'll tell y'all like this, though, man. Y'all getting the best.
Yeah.
The best from the Midwest.
I like that.
Good looking son of a bitches, man.
Light skin,
son of a bitches, right? Look at these guys. Why ain't they good looking? First class, man. Y'all, you know what? Subscribe, man. Build with these guys. It don't get no better.
Yeah.
I mean, at least for Gene's beard, you should get at least 10 new subscribers off Gene's beard, period.
Nappy beard. Ike, I would like to thank you for being here. I'm sorry we had to cut it short, dude. I feel like
all love.
We have so much more to talk about,
we can go
and we
so
will.
Further, so much further. Don't worry about it.
Absolutely,
we'll build.
Man. I think
love
it's
y'all,
great.
man.
We will.
Thank y'all, man, and y'all. Thank you so much for watching. At the end of the day, Gene, you go ahead and
One
take
more
us out,
thing,
man.
I want to talk. So next week we have a young lady named Amanda Yang
Yep.
on the show, and
Absolutely.
she's an upcoming artist.
Yep.
She's about to blow up.
Yeah.
Look her
Sideline
up.
girl.
She's on Spotify, YouTube.
Apple Music, you know
Apple
what I mean?
Music,
And the
Facebook.
best part about it is she's homegrown. Like she comes from Minnesota, y'all. So we have to represent, especially our, and I'm not trying to say it, but our non-white performers. You know what I mean? This
Right.
is a whole new culture
Yep,
of
she's
music.
she's
so.
Hmong American.
Yep.
She's She's about to blow up.
Yeah.
Look her up.
Yeah, absolutely, y'all. So please, y'all, we appreciate all the love and support. Keep doing it. Keep pushing every
100.
video we have. Ike, again, thank you so much for
Thank
being
y'all
on
for
the
having me,
episode,
man. I
bro.
love y'all,
Gino,
brothers.
go ahead and take us
Hey,
out this joint.
thanks for leveling up with Gene.
I'm Jay.
I might go.
We'll see y'all later.
Good night.
Deuces.
Cheers.